hopping and a bopping and a singing his song. All the little birds on Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet, rock, rock, rockin' Robin.
Hey crafty babes, it's Andrea. I'm so excited to show you how I set up my planner using the Reset Girl planner line by Simple Stories. I'm super excited. It was really fun. If you didn't catch my look inside video, I will leave a link below so that you can see that video. I went through all of the things that I purchased from her collection, and it wasn't everything, but it was a lot of fun goodies. So today I'm going to show you how I set up my planner. Now I am not using a Simple Stories planner. I use a Studio Calico Hello Forever planner. It just happens to be a really fantastic size for me, and originally what drew me to the design of their planner was the layout of the weekly pages. So that is something I will talk about today as we go over this, because the Reset Girl Carpe Diem line is smaller in size than the original pages from my Hello Forever planner, so I had to do a little bit of adjusting, but I'm totally fine with that. So let's take a look first at the supplies that I used and gathered to make my dashboard, my setup, dividers, and my first weekly spread. I gathered this box, which is a temporary solution, honestly. It's not ideal. It's really clunky and big, but in order for me to really see what I was working with, I figured it was best to just kind of get it all out so that I knew what I had. So I also gathered up some washi. So I got some corals and blues and mustards and brown, and then also this cute fabric, like vintagey pink and coral and green. Really super cute. And then this little ruler with yellow. So of course I'm not using them all, but this white one is going to be special here for in just a minute. I will explain to you. And then I also gathered some inks that go into my planner that I'm using for stamping. These are from Studio Calico, and they are a few of their pigment inks. And then I just laid out my supplies in these little dividers. So these are going to be all of the stickers, all the dashboards, actually that goes in there, some paper clips, and then all the little die cuts. All right. So I also grabbed a few pens. I used these fine liners from Michaels for a lot of my writing inside of my planner. And then I bought these new Papermate Flare pens in a 12 pack, I think, and they just had such cute trendy colors, like this peach color, but it turns out to be more of a coral, and I guess it was more of a tropical color scheme. And I found them at Walmart, so keep an eye out for those because they're super cute. All right. And then another tool that came in handy while I was working on this was, of course, my hole punch. We'll talk about that. So let's take a look inside. So inside, what I have done is I've just clipped a couple of things here to the front that I really just wanted to look at. I mean, I just love the magazine cover, so I wanted to have it in here. Also, for the dashboard piece, I chose the stick it here so that I could use my to-do list to give me just some very visual pops of things I needed to be paying attention to. And then I also clipped in the eraser because I just couldn't decide, so I just clipped them together, and then that way there's not too many pieces, but I feel like it's still, and it's something I can grab onto and flip. And then I could put another little sticky over here, but then I'm using this one divider and using it to house my stickies. So I could put them like back here, but honestly I just wanted to see them because they're so cute, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't forgetting to use them. So this is the first divider, and there is still another pocket on the other side, and I just haven't decided if it needs anything in there yet. And then I did also just secure this little to-do list with a piece of that fabric floral washi. And what I have decided to do, because I work on my months in the current month and then the month coming up. So I decided to use the first 2 dividers because there's only 6. So I decided to use the first 2 dividers for the current month and the following month. I decided to use this little roll of white. It's actually a kind of a transparent, or I guess you can call it more of an opaque white. And it's just a thin strip. I think I got it in a color pack from Michael's, probably in the, you know, that set that comes with all the different colors of this same size. And I just put the washi right on top of the label and then wrote in a Sharpie. Now, because this is more of a slick washi, you're gonna need to let that dry thoroughly or it will smear. The good thing is you're writing it on washi tape, so if it does smear, you can just peel the washi piece off and try again. And then just what I figured I could do is then once September comes, I'll just move the September washi up to this top one and then make a new one for October. So I can just rotate these 2 dividers. That way I can keep all of my other dividers, and we'll talk about how I organize those too. So this will be August. So I put another little dashboard item in here because I just, oh my gosh, I just love it so much. And I didn't want to keep everything up front. I didn't want to flip, you know, just to get to my goodies. So, because I really need my planner to be functional. Yes, it needs to be pretty, but it really, really, really needs to be functional. So what I decided to do was then use so it goes divider and then pocket. Okay, because for me, what I need for each month is pockets. Like I need to put my dental card reminder in here. I need to put, you know, receipts in here that I want to use or keep or something. Like I need a divider for each month. So then I paper clipped the open section to that divider or to that pocket so that it could just easily open straight to my week. So I had to trim my weekly inserts. So my weekly inserts go about to here. So I trimmed from the inside, and what it did was when I punched the holes, it did cut off a couple of the letters of Friday and Sunday, which I'm totally okay with that. I know what day comes after Thursday. You know, that doesn't bother me, but I probably, if I'm going to continue using this size divider stuff, that I will probably just make my own, and then you know, that way I can go back and forth between using the Studio Calico dividers and pockets and the Reset Girl. So it just kind of depends on how I'm feeling about the color scheme, and I kind of like having options. So but it worked out. I lost a little bit of space, but honestly what it did was it kept me keeping the week really, really simple. So I lost the space on the inside, but what I decided to do was then keep the underneath the days, keep that for like a big item that I needed to remember. And I think that really worked out nicely. And I'm still using my 3 checkbox stamp from Big Picture Classes. I have several other checklist stamps now that I've kind of gotten a few more things, but these are just the best for me. I feel like the box has enough room for me to write my little bullet journaling notations, and it gives me enough line space to write something succinct that needs, you know, that I need to do, or that's due, or that I need to go to. And I feel like they're spaced perfectly apart for how tall I write, and giving me enough room so that it doesn't feel too scrunched together. So I just really had fun playing with all the new colors and new supplies. And I also like the format of keeping everything really uniform. So what I did was I just kind of drew an invisible line. You know, I kind of measured. Yes, I measure so that things are kind of even and exact. And so I made enough room for a little sticker on the right part, and then made my to-dos on each in the center, and then left underneath for room for, you know, something special, like apparently buying a car yesterday. So good times. Okay, so if we flip to the next, then I'm gonna get another week here. So I only trimmed 2 months worth of my inserts because I didn't want to just take all of my larger inserts and cut them all down, you know. So I just took a couple of months for August and September. And then September is the cute little girl with her clipboards. And then here again is kind of like where I'm talking about needing a place to paper clip things, so that when I go to plan for the next month, these will be in there and I won't forget. So when I get to that point, I will just paper clip, probably use this paper clip over here because I don't want to open it to this. I really don't. And so then this will be my month and these will be my weeks again. Now for the other dividers that I need in my planner, I have several. So I have blog, illustrated faith, gossamer blue, and lists. So these are the 4 main categories that I need to kind of have some organization for. So for my blog, I've made these, and I'm going to need to remake them because again, I had to trim them down. But I have these kind of perpetual calendar checklists for things that I'm posting on my blog, so that I have an idea of everything at a glance that's going on my blog. So scheduled posts, things like that. And then also I can make notes about things that I want to film, things that I need to edit, things that I need to publish. So I really like having a couple of those sitting back here just so that I can make notes as I go along. Illustrated Faith, they get their own. Obviously, I'm on the design team, so I need to be able to have something similar so I know when I'm going to be scheduled to post, when my posts are due, and then what verses I want to explore. And then I have checklists here for all of the things that I need to do in order to get my blog post and video ready for publishing. So I have a couple of those, and these are always kind of a work in progress for me. So I will obviously be making a smaller format to fit in here because I don't really like how it cuts off at the edge, but that's just what I had to do to kind of get it to fit. The next one's Gossamer Blue. Again, on their design team, I have very similar layout, when things are due, when we have sneaks that we can start to share, when the kit is set to arrive, so then I can keep track of my month. And also the 4 projects that I am responsible for, once I decide what they're going to be, I'll write them here, check them off, and then to-dos like posting to the gallery and getting my sneak peeks ready, those kinds of things. I like to be able to make sure I'm handling all my responsibilities. And then I love that there's an actual listing divider. So perfect. So I of course had to make this divider my lists section. So I love the little clipboards, so cute. So what I have here is my current ongoing lists. I have them all kind of separated, and then I have the full pad right in the back. And then I have actually backed it with a larger acetate piece that came in my planner, so that way this doesn't get scrunched in the back or folded when I close it up. I just kind of wanted some protection back there for this because it wasn't the same size. So I've used the Reset Girl list to make my to-do list. This is an ongoing list. So these are things that, like, when I have time, I'll get to these things. These aren't things that are associated with design team stuff. This is more stuff revolving around the house and, more on a personal level, not necessarily on a crafty level. But of course, everything is crafty in my life. So like making curtains and, photographing school art. Prayers for the boys. So I have this kind of ongoing prayer list for things I want to pray for them for, and then sometimes these even turn out to be Bible entries or illustrated faith posts. So it's always a good list to have around. My wish list, which was quite long when I got my planner in February, but I've since gotten some of those things. Like I got a typewriter and I got red flats. So these are the couple of things that are left sitting on my wish list. And then here is my master purge list. So I have, my one little word is quality, and one of the subcategories of my word is that I would like to have just quality things in my house. But I've collected so many things, and I tend to keep things and hang on to things, not in a hoarding kind of way, but just like I might use that someday kind of way. So I have a master list of the places that I would like to go through, when I have that quiet weekend, or you know, that evening where I don't have any craftiness, or I'm not feeling craftiness, but I'm feeling energetic enough to go through a drawer. So we will see how those go. And then again, just the pad sitting back here. And that, my friends, is how I have set up my planner using all the new Reset Girl stuff. And I just have a feeling I'm going to use these things and then keep on buying them. So if you watched my video from the other day where I went through everything that I purchased, I am already committing myself to buying another set of the 3x4 cards, because I want to use the backs of all of these, and I'd rather have duplicates than, you know, be stuck using only one side, because everything's so amazing. So I hope you guys have enjoyed my little planner walkthrough. If you have questions, let me know. I'll leave some links below that'll help you get to where you need to go if you have additional questions, and then we will talk really soon. Bye guys.
Every little swallow, every chickadee, every little bird in the tall oak tree, the wise or loud, the big black crow, flap of their wings, sing and go, bird, go, rockin' robin, sweet, sweet, rockin' robin, sweet, sweet, so rockin' robin, 'cause we're really gonna rock tonight.